Hey guys, I'm David and you're watching Yellowhammer Woodcrafts. Today we're going to talk about the WEN 13-inch benchtop planer. This planer has spiral cutter heads. It's not the same as your Sheelix helical heads, but it does cut really well. There's 26 blades that are staggered across the wheel for cutting. So let's get started and I'll show you all the features of it. So if you're interested in this planer, this is the model 1326 WEN 13-inch with spiral cutter heads. It's on Amazon for $396 at the moment. It's a pretty good deal in my opinion. I think that's what I paid for it. I've had the planer for about 6 months now, and I've used it quite a bit, and it works really well. It has two nice carrying handles. It weighs about 80 pounds, so it's not as heavy as the DeWalt. I also have the DeWalt that's sitting over there broke. It was also a good planer, but the wheels stopped feeding, so I need to take it to the shop and see what's wrong with it. But I bought this one because the shop told me it was going to take about 6 months to get it fixed, and I can't wait that long for a planer. So got this one, and it's been pretty good so far. It's got your wheels up top, and I've looked at some other models of this planer on Amazon, and these wheels seem to be just sitting in there on the older models. So I think they fixed that on this model. They're not just sitting in there, they are attached now. This is your handle to lower it and raise it. You can cut up to 13 inches wide and 6 inches tall on this planer. It has your depth guide here, and when you put a board in, it hits that little gauge right there and it tells you, how much you're going to take off. It also has this measuring gauge on it to show you about how thick your board's going to come off, how thick your board's going to come out. I wouldn't trust that too much because it's not exact. So you want to measure your board as you're taking off. And it also has a depth stop gauge. So if you want 3/4 inch boards, you'd put this on 3/4, and when you roll the wheel around, it won't go any lower than that. So that way you can plane multiple boards at the same time, one right after another, and know that all of them are going to come out 3/4 inches. So just a note for the depth gauge, if you buy this planer and you're having an issue with it not planing to the depth that it's telling you it's set on, this is how you fix that. This is the depth gauge moving back and forth. So this screw right there is adjustable, and it comes down and it sits on one of these. And if it's not giving you the depth that it's telling you, you can adjust that screw and fix that problem. I didn't have that issue when I got the planer, but if you do, that's how you fix it. The dust collector is pretty good on this planer. It's not the best, but it does okay. And we'll run it and I'll show you that in a minute, how much it throws out. I have a dust collector, so we're gonna hook it straight in, not going through that, and I'll show you how good it sucks the chips in. It does come with the adjustable beds. This planer does have some snap on it, but all planers do. And this one's pretty easy to adjust because you can move these beds up and down to keep it from snapping on the front and back so much. And if you're not familiar with what snap is, I'll show you that in just a minute. If you hear roosters crowing, that's because my wife just let them out. So sorry about that, but it is what it is. We have a lot of chickens. This is a piece of cedar that we're going to send through the planer. I'm going to show you how it works. I do have it hooked straight into the dust rot, not going through the separator, so you can see exactly how good the dust collector is. Also, this planer is not as loud as the DeWalt. It's still loud, you still want to wear hearing protection, but it's not as loud as the DeWalt. almost no snap. I can see just a little dimple right there, which would easily sand out. There's none on the back. Just a tiny little bit there and none there on that side. So you can see with the dust collection, there was a few chips that were thrown out, but that's to be expected. I'm kind of surprised at how well it done with the dust collection hooked straight into it. Definitely a lot better than hooked into this, which I don't really have that hooked up right as far as air and getting air in it, and it's not tight. I need to redo my dust collection system. Now I want to test the depth stop and show you how that works. This board's about 7/8 inches thick right now. We're going to try to get it down to 3/4. I have it set on 3/4 right now, so it shouldn't go any less than that. So as you can see, the depth stop does work. It's exactly 3/4 inches. A few more things that I want to note about this planer. It is a 15 amp motor. It has 10,000 RPMs and it feeds the boards at 26 feet per minute. And here is a close-up of what the blades look like. As you can see, they're staggered. And earlier when I was talking about snap, if you do buy this planer and you have some snap on your board, this little adjustment screw right here is how you get rid of that. You want these beds to be perfectly level with this bed. And if they're all level, then hopefully you won't have any snap. I have learned through planing multiple boards that if you push down on the front as you feed the wood through, it does help with the snap on the front. And sometimes you may get some on the back, but so far this has been a great planer as far as snap goes. So it does come with this tool to take your blades off and change them if you need to once they get dull, or to take the top off, take it apart if you needed to. The good thing about the square blades that it comes with is I'm pretty sure you can turn them around and use them again because they're sharp on both sides. So when you take that blade off, if you turn it around the other way, you can use the other side. I think that's how they work. I'm not positive because I haven't researched it yet. I haven't had to change mine yet. Hey, if you know about the blades and if you can turn them around, if they're sharp on all 4 sides or just 2 sides, let me know down in the comments. So that's going to be it for the review on this planer. I hope you got some good information out of this. And one last thing to note for safety, don't stand behind or in front of a planer when you're sending a board through. As you noticed, I was standing on the side. That's the safest place to be when you're planing a board. I have had a board shoot out and I had my planer facing this way. The board shot out and hit my chop saw over here at probably about 600 miles an hour. It was really fast and almost took my finger off. It was my fault. I was doing something stupid that I shouldn't have been doing, planing 2 different thicknesses of wood at the same time. That is not a good idea. Don't do that. If you want to see that video, I do have a video of that happening. I think it's called Don't Do This With a Planer or something like that. So go check that one out next. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Let me know down in the comments if this helped you out, and if you're interested in this planer, I'll have a link for it to Amazon where you can purchase it. We'll see you next time.